Hey, hi, hello there, I'm DilyDaly, and this is the Rogue-lite Power Hour for Friday, the last Rogue-lite Power Hour for the week. As usual, we're playing Vampire Survivors. I was gonna say, as usual, we're doing, you know, we're trying to complete the stage. And as usual, we're gonna play for an hour. Nothing new. I forgot about that. And actually, I don't think I need to do anything. Yeah. Right. I get to talk about Castle for an hour. So Castle. What is Castle? Season 1. Castle is about a writer who, well, I guess I'll just talk about the plot of the first episode. Probably make the most sense. Plot of the first episode is basically a writer, Richard Castle, was a potential suspect for a murder that was based on one of his books. I guess that's also another important thing, is Castle writes mystery novels. Mystery novels. And I guess a fanatic fan, was staging murders based on his novels. And he gets called in as like a consultant of sorts, right? And they end up, I'm not going to spoil the whole pilot episode or anything, but like, they end up discovering, by they I mean Beckett, Detective Beckett, was, actually, hang on, I'm mildly screwing this up, so okay. First, let's begin the first thing, right? Castle, writer. Step 1. Step 2, Detective Beckett, a New York police officer, or New York detective, homicide detective. Castle has writer's block. He can't think of a new story to write about, or he can't think of a new book, right? He needs to write one soon. And then Detective Beckett gets a gets a case where someone is staging their murders like Castle's novel. So she calls in Castle initially to see if he's a suspect, because he had just had a novel release, and seeing if maybe sales are down the drain and he's trying to get sales numbers up by staging murders similar to his books. But at some point, while discussing things with him, finds out that maybe he's not so useless after all. And the two of them kind of start working together accidentally, as Castle as a consultant for different cases, and Detective Beckett as an actual cop that can get stuff done legally without the power of money. And yeah, that's kind of the basis of the whole show. Season 1 does a really good job of setting up Castle's character and like his mannerisms around how he acts around Beckett, and his relationship with his daughter and his mom who lives with him. Also how he kind of is with women in general is kind of a big basis for the first season. How his relationship with his two ex-wives, and his relationship with Beckett, which, depending on who you ask, is non-existent. Their relationship is very how should I say, it is a work relationship where Castle flirts with her a lot and Beckett kind of doesn't care. However, I will mention that in season 1, this is kind of more of a gripe towards season 2 than me talking about season 1. Is season 1, they kind of do this push and pull thing going from season 1 to season 2, where there's a couple of moments where you really feel the episodic nature, like in how characters act and are involved with each other. Because in one episode, you see that the characters are interacting constantly and they have a nice flow, but then the next episode, they're like at each other's throats for some inconsequential reason. Like it doesn't really have a proper flow when you're watching the episodes back to back. But I think that's just kind of what season 1. Season 2, it feels a lot better. They have a more consistent relationship between the characters, while still having that episodic nature where the relationship between the characters is still important, and is kind of like melded to match the themes of the episodes. Or no, it's more malleable, so the relationship, like the relationship between the characters is kind of malleable to the episode's themes and the events that go on throughout the episode. I will say, right, I guess another really important thing that's set up in season 1 that I didn't actually point out is the reason why Beckett and Castle are working together is because Castle finds Beckett interesting, finds her job interesting also, very specifically, because he has now made Beckett his muse, as mentioned in the beginning of every episode. In like the kind of like opener, is Beckett is his muse and now the inspiration to his new novel, based on her character named Nikki Heat, or the character she's based on called Nikki Heat. By the end of season 1, I don't remember if it's the end of season 1 or partway through season 2, he ends up releasing the first novel, Heatwave. But it's set up very nicely, because it's hard to not talk about season 2 when talking about season 1. Season 1's a lot shorter, season 1's a lot shorter, and it's a really just it's a nice setup to what goes into season 1 or into season 2. And it's not very jarring. It kind of feels like, honestly, the more jarring separation between seasons is season 2 and 3. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the show, what I'm specifically inferring to is how... Well, I guess I'll end up talking about it when I talk about season 2 in the 20 Minutes Till Dawn video next week. Or not next week, the week after. But... I'm trying to think if there's... But I'll finish my thought. But the separation between season 1 and season 2 kind of just feels like a we'll be right back. Kind of just like an extended break to like hash out... Like, you kind of feel the television episodic nature of Castle between season 1 and 2. Because you can definitely tell that it was more of like a... We don't know if season 1 did well enough to get a season 2, so let's just kind of take a break. But then they got the ratings and the reports and all the other stuff, and then they figured out that it was a smash hit, and then they continued from there. What do I need to do for stage 3? I completely forgot. Hang on. Reach level 40 in the library. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So I need to reach level 40 in the library. Power up. I got the recovery already. I want the magnet. Because that's going to be really important. And then I want to start building up the XP. Either XP... Probably XP, right? That makes the most sense. Yeah. Anyway. I'll save that. Just wait for that. Okay. Anyway. Back to Season 1 of Castle. I really like the characters. They all kind of meld well together without being too different or too excessively different, if that makes sense. I don't like this. This is not a very good start. Let's do this one. I don't like that one, but it'll do for right now. I also don't like the boomerang. Or the cross, or is that what it's called, the cross? Whatever. That's what I want. The characters work well together, they have a nice relationship, and they don't feel too excessively similar. I'm more talking about, like, Esposito and, is it just Ryan? Ryan and Esposito? Or is it Ryan Esposito and the other guy? Well, you know who I'm talking about. Those two. Beckett's colleagues. They all work together while still kind of fitting a nice archetype of detectives. You know, like, it's not like... It doesn't feel random, right? They don't feel like they're just fitting the particular archetype of a character because they need to, if that makes sense. I also wanted to mention in the last episode, the last video I was talking about House. I forgot Foreman's name, and I recognize I forgot Foreman's name, and I'm sorry that he's the only character's name I forgot. Well, he's not the only character's name I forgot. I also forgot, I also didn't look at anyone's names to figure out who I was forgetting. I forgot a lot of the characters. I remember 13. Oh my god, what's his name? Okay, hang on. In the new group, it was Taub, 13, Amber. I think his name started with a K. Not Kurt. I don't remember his name. But you know who I'm talking about. And Miss Scholar. Oh, I forgot her name. That's gonna make me mad, because I really liked her character too. But I forgot a lot of their names. It wasn't just Foreman. As much as that doesn't help. Because Foreman was there like the whole fucking time. But yes, that's what I mean. Anyhow, are we gonna get the... Yeah, shit. I don't think I've leveled up enough for this. These fireballs better start packing punches, bro. Yes. Anyway. Castle. I want to talk about... So, I've covered the basis for everything, right? I've covered the basis for the show, for the season 1, the pilot, basis for the pilot. Now, I want to start talking about particular episodes, particular scenes. So now from this point, it's just kind of spoilery. So if you don't care to hear about that, or I'm gonna try to keep it spoiler free for the most part. Like not talking about the conclusions or conclusiveness of certain episodes, but just like talking about the progression of characters, because each episode's very like encased in itself. If you want to experience the story, you can watch a particular episode and just kind of pick up whatever's happening pretty easily. Not the mystery of like, oh, it's pretty easy to figure out who did it. But like stuff like knowing who the characters are, what they're all doing, who they like, what the kind of like background is. But particularly for season 1, we're very focused on Castle for obvious reasons. We don't know who Castle is. It's pretty easy to figure out the detectives. But in season 1, you don't really get a feel for Beckett aside from her attitude towards things. You don't get like, you don't find out anything about her background, her backstory, or any of that stuff. Just kind of like the picture that Castle paints of her. You know what I mean? Which isn't a bad picture, to be fair, but like season 1 does a very good job of keeping everything to Castle's perspective. Everything kind of has this sort of lightheartedness in spite of every episode being about murder. And it's such a very strange feeling when in season 2 things get a little bit more serious. But I'll talk about that when we actually get to season 2. Season 1 does a very good job of kind of keeping this separation of, oh shit, this was a murder, and the kind of feeling of, like, the suspension of disbelief is done very well to kind of skirt that line of seriousness and comedic capability. Because fucking I keep wanting to call him Cade because that's who I knew him as originally. Cade and Buck, and I think he's Nathan Drake. But I know his last name Fillion. Nathan Fillion, I think. I watched The Rookie before this, which is kind of funny. He plays a cop in that show. But let me get back to the point. He does a very good job of being serious when necessary and playing that kind of writer persona. But he also plays it like a persona. Like, Castle is very much kind of playing a character, and as the series goes on, you kind of see that character kind of pull away from itself, and he slowly becomes a person. He's not just Richard Castle, the mystery book writer. He's Richard Castle. He's got a kid. He's had 2 ex-wives. He has a mom who lives with him. He's good friends with Ryan and Esposito. He's got what's the word? He's got gambling poker buddies. You know, like, there's so much going on with his character that you kind of see the mask behind Castle's swagger and decisiveness and confidence kind of get peeled back, and that's just in season 1. In season 1, you see a lot of Castle and a lot of kind of the energy he brings to the character he's playing. Not even like just Nathan Fillion acting as Castle, but Castle acting as Castle. I can't get past level 20. I don't remember what level I was in that last run before this. Jesus. Why is the radius so big? Maybe I'll talk about season 2 in this episode, in this video too. I mean, I have no reason not to, right? Bible. Magic wand. We're not halfway through the video yet, so I'll just keep talking. Where I've kind of already covered Castle, because in season 1 you kind of just see Castle quite a bit. You see that he's playing a character. He's playing himself. You know, he's not just Richard Castle, playboy. I mean, he is, but playboy writer. He's also like a person. You kind of see that humanity to it. You kind of see the breakdown, not his breakdown, but like you see the disconnect that he has with himself in assisting with Beckett at times. And how he plays off everything so jokingly and dispersonalized, is, I guess, would be the word, or a word to say it. So that way he doesn't get connected to the case or gets too emotional about particular things. But as he gets kind of closer to Beckett, you kind of see it's kind of like watching like a progress bar, right? Every episode, he's kind of like, oh, he gets to 5%, and then the next episode, he goes back to 0, but then goes to 10%, and then he goes back to 0 in the next episode, but then he goes up to 15, and like every episode, you kind of see it go back, and then up a little bit higher, and then back, and then up a little bit higher, and back a little bit higher. You see him peeling back the curtain and slowly becoming more emotionally invested in not just Beckett as his inspiration or as his muse to the character Nikki Heat, but also as a person, which gets more defined in season 2, particularly because of all the seriousness and in his extra and Castle's extra involvement in cases, along with more of Beckett's personal life being involved in particular episodes. Some of her past getting dredged up, along with some of the other characters kind of having some extra background being brought up in particular in some episodes. But I do also want to mention that, or I guess with that in mind, I wanted to change the subject a little bit to actually talking about Beckett, because we do see Beckett from a couple of different lenses. Initially, just from Castle. But as season 1 kind of goes on, we see a bit of how Beckett sees herself. Because I think Heatwave, Castle's first book based on Beckett, comes out partway through season 1. And so, or like toward the end of season 1. So it's in season 1 that we see Beckett actually read Heatwave and see her portrayal of herself, or his portrayal of her, or of who she's based on, or however you want to read into that. Which is very interesting, because I care a lot in my TV shows and movies that I watch. I care a lot about how characters are written, because I'm not a people person, particularly. Like, I can socialize just fine when I'm forced to, I guess. But I think of things very standardly... Jesus, this is the first 3 I think I've gotten since the first video for Vampire Survivors. Yes, that's actually amazing. Well, the magic wand could have been better, but... Could have been the garlic, would have been better. But that, the cooldown's the best part of that. Now I need the crown for XP. But, back to the point. Garlic. We see Beckett kind of grapple with the fact that she's growing to trust Castle in Season 1. We see her kind of start opening up the idea to trusting Castle more and doing or saying particular things, being put in positions where maybe she's put him in too much of a situation and needs to bring herself back to that she's on the job and she has things she has to do. And so seeing that disconnect for her in Season 1 is kind of refreshing, because in a lot of shows, what you see a lot is this disconnect where characters forget the positions they're in for the sake of the episode's story and the theme, for dramatization or whatever. But in this, the world isn't catered to Castle unnecessarily. Like, there are still lines, there's still the fact he's not a cop, there's still this line. There's a line in the sand. There's still plenty he doesn't know about Beckett in Season 1. There's still plenty he's not allowed to do, as he's not a cop. There's plenty he doesn't understand about these particular systems, in spite of all of this information and knowledge and research he's done for his books. There's still things for us as the viewer to learn and understand about Castle, because there's plenty that he doesn't know and needs to learn about the system he has now involved himself into. It's really cool. And I understand. I know I kind of skipped over the fact that what I was talking about earlier about me not being a social person. I can socialize just fine, in spite of COVID, it kind of suspending my high school experience. I still had a high school experience, and I still know how to socialize with people. I'm fairly well-adjusted, I'd like to think. And so I can socialize, but I also don't. Like, I don't go out and do anything. A lot of my social life is online. I have I make nice with my coworkers and everything. It's not, like I said, I'm fairly well adjusted. However, I care. How do I put this? I care more about people, specifically because of how they think, and because they're so different from me. I care a lot about perspective, and less about the people who have the perspective. I'm not a very emotionally charged person, or emotionally reactive person, so there's a lot to people that I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out how to pose this as so that I don't sound like a psychopath. These guys suck. I grabbed the fucking feather so I could do more damage. It's not doing anything. It's not doing enough. And then I'm not leveling up because I'm not killing anything. I don't have the laurel. We're past 630 at least. But it's only going to get harder. Okay. I need damage. I need movement speed too. Damage. I need the boomerang to get thrown the other way. That's not the spicy food, right? That's just the full heal. Oh, I say just the full heal, it's important. Oh, fuck me. We haven't gone this far in a while. Oh, wait, it's just the green guys and the ghosts. Oh, this is so much better. Because the ghosts die instantly, and the garlic and stuff. Well, they're not instantly, but they die pretty quickly. It's so much easier to deal with. Right. Back to what I was saying. I find a lot of my thought processes are very robotic, very computerized, in a sense. Very logic-based. Not to say I don't get emotional. There's plenty I'm overly reactionary to, and things that aggravate me, obviously, and get me annoyed. Like, I'm human, I'm a person, you know? I'm not an AI, I'm not a bot, in case you were wondering. However, I find myself to be kind of emotionally stunted, I guess would be the way to say it. I find that I'm not very... I should go down a little bit further, so... Ooh, that's a lot. Anyway, I find myself very emotionally stunted, right? Like, I'm not very... I don't think very strongly about anything. I don't feel very strongly about a lot of anything, really. A lot of what I think and understand is kind of common sense, and if it's not common sense, it's because of it's an opinion that I've built on a lot of trial and error. And that sounds very normal to a lot of people. That sounds like how everyone thinks. But what I mean by that is, like, how I think and how I feel is nearly identical. It's never... How I feel is very different from how I'm thinking. When I'm put in very particular situations where emotion needs to be the forefront, like when I need to feel sympathetic or empathetic to something, I'm usually very much the opposite. Not to say I don't feel bad for anyone or that I don't feel happy for anyone, but I also understand that my feelings about what they're going through or what they're feeling don't matter. How I'm feeling isn't going to change how anyone else is feeling, if that makes sense. Now, what I say and what I do and how I react to those feelings that they are having, that will 100% affect them. And so all of that, everything that's presented outward in that sense, is all, I don't want to say calculated, but it's all logic. It's not feeling. Whereas how I'm feeling is very logic. What the fuck is that? Soul Eater. Evolved garlic. I didn't know that was a thing. It took a lot to fucking unlock. I don't want the clock. I'll go back to underneath the piano. They're getting kind of close. Anyway, how I understand and think of sympathy and empathy is very much what I should do for someone to help them feel better, or how I should, like, what I should do is very decision-based. It's not reactionary. It's always thought through and thought of. I'm very conscientious of that fact. I'm very conscientious of other people. I think of others plenty more than I think of myself in most situations, because I know myself. It's not that I think of other people because I'm selfless. I think of other people because I know myself, I don't know how other people are, how it is they need to be supported, right? Like, I know what I need. I know I need some silence, maybe some nice music. I need peace, but not quiet. I need time. I need some space from whatever might be troubling me. But I don't know other people, so I think of other people quite a lot. I think of their perspective or what they're going through, and so when I'm watching movies or TV series or just any media in general, I'm thinking of other people. I'm thinking of the characters, I'm thinking of how they're reacting, and I care a lot about that. If it doesn't make sense or isn't very logical, or is just being written in for logic's sake, or like, not logic's sake, for entertainment's sake, I understand it, and I just absorb that information, I just go, okay. But I don't think of it as done just because. So I spend a lot of time thinking about I think about characters, how they're written, and the perspectives, and stuff like that. I'm gonna do the Rune Tracer. Kind of late in the game to have a Rune Tracer now, but like, I'm gonna go up here and try to kill that guy. Kill these last couple from the last wave. Can we get a 3? Nope. Okay. Anyway. I think that's everything. Everything with that. With how I think and why it is I'm talking so much about characters and how they act and what they do, why they do what they do. And why it is that maybe if you go to watch Castle, you don't think, like, I'm thinking, wait, like, if you go to watch Castle and you think I'm reading way too much into it, you are 100% you're probably 100% correct. I overthink characters and overcomplicate the ideas for things, so that way, if I'm asked a question, like my brother, right, Kodashira, when he watches stuff, there's always random thoughts, random questions that kind of get overexpanded. Like, it's not just a simple question of, but why does this happen? It's more like, why, like, he asks questions that kind of open very big plot holes, partly because I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking of what his question means to the extent of the universe itself, or the universe of the thing, right? Of the media that we're consuming. And I go, well, I mean, I guess it would make sense if it was this, right? Or if this was the case, okay? And it doesn't make sense without an example, what it is I'm exactly trying to explain. But, like, my brother raises a lot of questions that, when put in context, is very particular and can very easily... Damn, why did I level up so many times? Is very particular and can be construed in such a way that it sounds like he's accidentally found a plot hole. And then I go to think about that thing, and if it's something I really like, I go, why is that the case? And then I try to find the explanation for it by kind of thinking about being in that world, being one of those characters, and trying to understand. And because of me being existent and living with my brother for as long as I have, I now think about those things, which is then evolved into me now thinking of character perspectives and overthinking ideas and just talking about stuff the way that I do. in this case, it's talking about Castle and how he's characterized, and how he's kind of playing a character in and of himself, and how he slowly evolves to becoming more attached to things and all that, right? Which could all just be a bunch of bullshit, you know? I could just be talking bullshit and just kind of sounds right. You know what I mean? I could be talking out my ass and it was all just a bunch of bullshit that a writer did in a blank room because he thought it was entertaining. But it also doesn't sound wrong, so for now I'm going to keep talking about it. We're past the halfway point of the video. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to talk about Season 2, or if I'm going to try to talk about, like, particular episodes of Season 1, but I can't think off the top of my head of a specific episode where I felt particularly strongly about a thing, or if, like things of that nature. I don't know if there was an episode where I felt like that, where I felt the need to, like, remember and talk about it. It's taking a minute to go from 40 to 41. Even with this double, or like, not double, but the extra freaking thingies. $41. Jesus, that took forever. What's your real tracer? Oh, that's going way faster. Is it just like the plateau from 40 to 41 takes forever? Whoa, I did not see you. Anyway. Was there anything else I was going to talk about? What the fuck is that? Oh, it's gold. It's gold, it's gold, it's gold, it's gold, it's gold, it's gold. Just kill stuff, kill stuff, kill stuff. Bible. You suck. Can you see my mouse? You can't see my mouse. It's gonna take a while to kill that guy. I was worried for a moment that those guys were gonna have more health than I thought, but we are good. Should I just run into him? I'm kind of worried about the other guys, like, slipping through, like, a damage roll or something. My brother is streaming, by the way, in case you're hearing him in the background. The video is recorded the day he's playing Among Us. So he's being very loud. Armor? I mean, I guess, armor's not bad. I should be a little bit more careful. What the fuck is that? Why is he walking in a tilt? Oh shit. I saw that flying skull and I got scared. Those flying skulls, in case you're wondering. They were on screen for just a moment. You probably saw them before I did, to be completely honest. Those, I just shot them. Maybe you can walk this guy into the corner. Keep shooting stuff at him. Yep, just right there. Just keep some slight distance. Keep shooting. Oh, Lord. Okay, they don't have a lot of health. That's good. Can you die faster? Level 9 magic wand? Yes. Maybe we can get an evolved magic wand. Nope, nope, nope. Keep smacking him into the wall. Yes! Damn it! Just a single row! Right. Castle. Evolved magic wand. What does it do? What does this one do? Fires with no delay. It requires the empty tome. Oh, shit. Oh, that's fucking cool. Rune Tracer. I wonder if we only... I think we only unlocked the evolved garlic after we hit level 40. Maybe it's kind of like the level 20 thing or like the level 20 thing like in 20 Minutes Till Dawn. After you hit level 20, you unlock a different variant of the weapon you're using that does extra shit. Maybe it's kind of like that. Like after hitting level 40, you can unlock evolved versions of things based on the combinations of items you have. I wonder if you can get them earlier on, like as a legendary, like random legendary. I'm talking more about the game than I am about Castle. Like, there's not a whole lot to talk about for Season 1. Actually, there is one thing I kind of had a mini gripe. It's a nothing burger, but it's still something I thought about. The names for the episodes were kind of dumb. I kind of felt like at one point they were just naming the episode one of Castle's books just because. Like, it didn't even match the theme or make any sense. It was just kind of named one of his books because they already had the names for the books. And they were like, let's just use them all in the pilot. Or like they tried to, as long as it made sort of sense, even though it never did. Except for the first one. The first couple. Or no, the first one in like the 4th episode that was named one of his books, I think. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't really remember. What's the closest Bible? But like, the names for the episodes were kind of annoyed me. Because I was like, I feel like they could have waited to use some of the names of Castle's books for episodes, like at least a little bit before like using them so early on. Because then now when they have like a reason to, because it kind of matches the theme of the episode, they shot themselves in the foot by like using them so early on that now like they can't use that title to set up a potential theme for an episode. At least it's kind of what it felt like to me. I'm also overthinking it. I know I am. But it's kind of like the only gripe I have about Season 1. It's a very good introduction to Castle and like the story and everything. So I don't really have any complaints. Give it a solid 8 out of 10. Because like I said, there's a lot of yo-yoing for the sake of like episodic character drama that I didn't really like. A lot of like, they make the characters kind of malleable, like excessively malleable. By that I mean like they change some characters' personalities for the sake of an episode and then revert them back to normal. I know it's like it's their pilot season and everything, so it makes sense that they're kind of changing up how characters act here and there to get a feel, but like it kind of felt excessive at times, and this is dangerous. If I move like an inch, I'm gonna die. I need to health regen. This is something else. You really want to do the bats now? Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, not the big bats. They don't die from the garlic like that, though. Do they? It's not looking great. It's looking very dicey. Even one of these cooldowns goes off wrong. I don't really have a reason to stay alive. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, I don't care if I die. Like, I already hit level 40, which means I can move on to the next area and everything. But, like, I'm unlocking so much stuff, I'm getting so much gold. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. They're getting so fucking close. Rune Tracer. We're so close. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think this is also the first time we've had maxed, like, items, weapons, and equipment. That also might be the cause of why we got evolved items. We maxed out the number of items we could hold. Let's see if we can clear out some of this, or at least move them far enough away so I can collect the XP. Oh, no, we gotta make space. Cross. Armor's maxed out. Yes. How did the Medusa die faster than the Witch? Oh. Oh, what? Is one of those in evolved? Is that why it's yellow? Oh, Jesus. The whole screen's yellow. Oh. We got 5. I think that's an evolved cross, an evolved rune tracer, evolved fire wand, maybe? That's just a fire wand. Evolved rune tracer explodes. Wings, okay. Is that evolved cross, or is it just a cross? Pumarola. Let's see what this rune tracer can do. I want to see what the next thing is. What's this? Is this just a cross? It is just a cross. Still, that's insane. Get the witch in the corner. Get the witch in the corner. Get the witch in the... Oh, she goes off screen. She doesn't have a physical body. Fuck. Oh, shit. We're not killing things particularly quickly right now. The wings are the only thing I haven't leveled up yet, fully. They're exactly the same. Fire one. No! We just killed it! No! Oh, we haven't hit an hour. Whatever, we got the new area now. We got a lot of shit, though. We killed the hag, we got the thing. Oh, we also unlocked a new character. Magic Wand level 7. Got a new. We got a duplicator. We unlocked the new area, the dairy plant. 20 minutes. Got the 20-minute thing. Evolved Magic Wand. Got 500 gold for that. Evolved the garlic, another 500 gold. That's great. That's fucking amazing. Let's power up. I said I want to do the XP, but it's also fairly cheap to get some of these. 4,000. Do I just want to wait and get, like, revival? Do I want to get luck? I could probably max out this, or not max. Oh, I can wait and get the projectiles. That would be insane. I get the cooldowns right now. I'll wait. I want to get the projectiles. But I did just unlock this guy. I think that's the guy I unlocked. That looks like the guy I just unlocked. I don't know if I want that, though. I know I don't want this guy. I don't want the cleric. Because, like, Poe is really good. I like the bone guy, too. He's funny. Coffin, Magna, obtain the Crimson Shroud, Infinite Corridor. Amber Joe. I don't really care. Find and open the coffin in the Mad Forest. Is the Mad Forest the first area? It is. There's a coffin in the Mad Forest? Fuck. Do I go do that? Let's see what we can stir up. Let's go to the Mad Forest. And let's find the coffin. Let's just follow these. Like, follow the paths and see if we can hit something. Because we have the garlic, which will kill the bats really easily, so let's just fucking go for it. That's a secretary. Do I need anything particular to open the coffin, you think? Actually, maybe... No, I was gonna say maybe these will light the way, maybe. We follow those specifically. Actually, let's go with... That'd be pretty cool. Let's just keep going down. I wonder if this loops. So plus the crossroads. This on the right. That on the left. Those two patches. That on the right. Okay, it doesn't loop. At least it doesn't feel like it loops. I'm just gonna sit here. Sit on this crossroad. I guess we're trying to look for the thing. Just a tree, a lily pad. Just keep leveling up the pentagram. Uh, 10%. Garlic. Maybe I should have gotten the movement speed. The garlic's gonna be really potent, so. going to, right? So we had the crossroads, we had this. Crossroads. And we're gonna hit a dead end, not a dead end, yeah, this. Okay, so what if I go left? Am I gonna hit the pond if I go left? I am. So then, so if I'm thinking of it like a globe, we call this like the center. Going right will lead me to those pond thingies. There's this, which has a right turn. So I'll go right. These two trees. Going through these trees doesn't do anything. Puts me right back here. Go back to the center. The cemetery right here with no crossroad. Maybe if I go left from here? Burn Tracer is definitely worth. This kind of looks like something. Do they have to destroy all of these? Unless they respawn. That's another thing. I don't know if they respawn or something. Follow the patches of grass, maybe. Yeah, I got nothing. I did not realize how close I was to those guys. I didn't find the coffin, but I did learn something valuable there. That was that I'm stupid. But if I change how I'm walking in what direction, I might be able to go at such an angle that I just loop around the whole thing, and I'll probably stumble across it. Unless I have to stay there till like I'm level 40 or something like that. But that will be the end of this Rogue-lite Power Hour. I got to talk about Season 1 of Castle. And I touched a little bit on Season 2, which I'll be talking about in the next episode of Rogue-lite Power Hour for 20 minutes till dawn, which I think will be 2 weeks from now on Monday. I think. Maybe. I don't know. I have the thing like on my desktop. Like I have the shortcuts kind of lined up in a schedule format, so I would know, but I haven't looked at it because this is my desktop. It's behind this, and I can't really see it because this is on screen. But without further ado, without stretching any longer, that was the Rogue-lite Power Hour for Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoy this new format. I will see you guys in the next one. Actually, I didn't even say my new phrase. Okay. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you want me to talk about next in the next Survivors Talk thing. I don't really have a name for it. For Vampire Survivors 20 Minutes Till Dawn, I will be looking through comments specifically on those videos. Maybe other videos for media you guys want me to watch, and so I can talk about those particular things on these videos. For now, it's just going to be like whatever I'm watching on my own. But if you guys have any ideas or something, You guys can let me know, and I will try to find them on various streaming sites that I have to watch, and I will talk about it in the next video. But yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one.